3, 2. Oh, sounds so professional. So I'd like to welcome here this evening my expert panelist, D. Now, oh, Jesus Christ.
Hello.
I know, it's so stupid. I
just get the laughs out first.
I just get the laughter out there. I like, obviously, you've been watching some of my Icarus stuff, haven't you, D?
Yes, I have.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that, at least. But I saw they stuck this concept art up just the other day, just 2 or 3 days ago, and I really looked at it. I like talking about this stuff, but then I thought, why the hell should I just talk about it myself? Why don't I bring the expert gamer in? You know, like the professional gamer, D. So that's why I thought you would be great for a one-person panel discussion. Is that okay?
That is perfectly okay. It is a pleasure.
Pleasure. Oh my God. All right. So there we have the screen in front of you, Icarus. It is broken down. If you didn't know this, D, so that when they release this game, for anyone that's watching this, they have said they're going to split it into 3 chapters. And those ones there in front of you are the 3 chapters. So the art, this is what I picked up on. Some of the art you're going to see in the screens ahead. But obviously the art that they're showing you is all over the place. It's very concept art. It's, when you look at some of the dates on it, some of it's quite old, so it probably isn't even relevant, but let's get going.
Okay.
That's one of the ones. I got another one here of this. And when I looked at this, I thought, what the hell? My first question is, what biome is that going to be in? You know what I mean? Because it looks, it's a cross between, like, what are they called, those insects that roll into balls? What are they called? You know, the ones that crawl along, centipede type things.
Yeah. I know which ones you're talking about.
Yeah, and then it's also got underneath it the tentacles, which looks like some sort of jellyfish.
Yeah.
And then you've got the lights. And I thought, is the lights normally to attract creatures in, you know, into the poison tentacles, isn't it?
Like what's the fish called with the light on the head?
Oh yeah, anglerfish.
That's the one. Sorry,
you've played Ark.
My mind drew a blank.
Ugh, anglerfish. But
Yes.
then I looked at this and I thought, well, it's got legs as well. So it can't be a seaborn, like an underwater marine creature. It's got to be a land creature. Or is it both? You see what I mean?
Yeah, I understand what you mean. To me, it kind of looks like a cockroach with its guts hanging out.
I wonder... That's the sort of feedback artists need, isn't it? Look, mate, I really appreciate that drawing. Look, I know you spent hundreds of hours on it, but it's just a cockroach with his guts hanging out.
It does, though.
Jesus, I tell you what, D, I'm promising you this. I'm going to stick that up onto their Reddit site with that comment. Let's see what they say about that. Come on, okay. Developers, let's see what they think about that. All right. That's a classy start. I knew there was a reason I brought you in.
Oh, this is cool.
Yeah, hang on, I can make it a bit bigger. Hang on, I can do this. Just bring it forward a bit. That might help a little bit.
Ah, that's much better.
Yeah. So I can bring them all the way forward like this. But some of them, it gets a bit pixelated when you do that. That, to me, you can see that you got you can see my mouse. Say, like, you got 4 heads here, and I wasn't sure, is this stages of development, like a juvenile growing through to an adult, or just different models? Because this one looks comical, doesn't it? That looks like funny. I mean, if I saw that coming at me, I'd laugh. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, it does look like it is some sort of development from going from a normal, typical bison to a rhinoceros to whatever that is.
Yeah, and they got a person there beside it, so it's just like a normal buffalo size, and it's got this big flappy tail, which looks like almost like a platypus tail. Weird, eh? But that's obviously
That's really cool.
It's quite cool, isn't it? Because I like that sort of stuff because, I mean, apart from maybe the tail, you can almost see that thing on Earth running around, couldn't you? With a few little genome changes, you could actually see that thing running around, which I quite like that idea. It's close to something we can picture. And this is, I don't know how well you're going to see this, but I'll bring it bigger. Let's get that nice and big for you.
I like this.
Yeah, and this is, I'll jump to the next one as well, because just have a look at, those are the tubes. These are 4 tubes, and obviously circles. Now let me just jump to the next picture, and you'll see what I mean. So here you have these tubes. They're obviously tubes coming here, tube there, and these tubes coming to these compartments. And these are the drop pods. I looked at, the Goldie. These are definitely the drop pods attached to some sort of a compartment or a loading zone. And this is the tubes. And if I go back a screen, come over here.
So that's like the docking area.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so that's like, so this dude here has come out of the drop or his compartment loading docking area. I thought it was quite cool, actually. Sort of shows the interior of it. It looks pretty functional, doesn't it?
Yes.
It's not like, I think I saw in their latest development blog about how they did Icarus, I saw a very, very brief clip of they were taking images from the International Space Station. And you know how you see on the International Space Station, you see inside the walls, they're not clean sci-fi lines. They've got shit everywhere. There's monitors, there's cables hanging out, and I think that's the look they're going for here.
I like that. Surrealism as well.
Yeah. It's quite cool, isn't it? Anyway, I'll just move on. And so that's obviously the outside of the ship. Actually,
I love it how it looks like it is hand-drawn, and I really like that.
Yeah.
Because it gives it a lot of depth to it, but it's probably done on with a drawing tablet and stuff.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
3D.
for sure. Yeah. Actually, I've just noticed this. You see these, you've got the windows here,
Hatches,
but you've got these hatches, but it looks like the idea here was they can shut down over the windows.
Yeah.
And like this one as well shuts over this end one. And I wonder if, like solar storms or something like that might play a part in the game. Because if that was a concept, being able to cover windows and seal everyone in. Who the hell knows? Just noticed that. Yeah, it's quite cool. Let's move on. Oh, yeah. This one I thought was a bit interesting. So obviously coming up, what is it? Composter redesign.
Which one do you like the most? I like the wooden one.
Yeah, I like the wooden one too. That looks better, doesn't it? But is this a stage? Do you think it's like stage 1, stage 2? Or is it just they were coming up with different designs? Because one's got metal, one's wood.
Yeah. So you think it could be progression?
Maybe.
Makes sense.
Maybe, eh? Yeah,
Or
the
maybe
wooden one. Sorry, go.
Maybe the composters are completely 2 different kinds.
Maybe.
Because that one there's got drink bottles around it, the other one doesn't.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah, you could be right there.
That's a fermenter and that's a composter.
Yeah, and when I saw this, if they're having composters and stuff in the game, that would imply proper base development. When you're composting fertilizer or something, you've got to use it for something, don't you?
Yes.
Like typically some sort of growing crops or something like that. One would imagine. Oh, hang on, no, I just noticed this up the top here. Silly me. Produces biofuel. Ah, there you go.
I didn't see that.
No, it's pretty small, so
That's cool. So it's a organic fuel farm.
Right.
In retrospect.
Well, that makes sense, doesn't it? Because you've got the biofuel, because you're down on a planet, maybe fuel's hard to come by. So you create your own fuel to, fuel your vehicles or whatever the hell they are. Ah, that's interesting. Okay, cool. What's the next one here? Oh, yeah, this was some, I'll make it a bit bigger.
I like this one.
Yeah. Campfire designs, I guess. And you've got all sorts there, haven't you? You've got like that standard fish just over there, and they've got stone ones. I mean, they can't, I mean, these are just different designs. You obviously can't have this many sort of campfires in a game. That would just never work, would it?
Well, technically it could. Because if you have over the fire, and then you have pot, and then you've got a drying rack, and then you have like a charcoal oven, as you can see at the top fourth.
Yeah. Oh,
No,
yeah.
they
Oh,
all
that's
have
this one up
different
here. That one's,
Yeah.
yeah, that's an
And
oven,
then-
isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, in the middle, and the middle bottom line, that there looks like it's a bread oven.
Oh, it does. That's true.
And then that top second one, that could be a smoker.
Yeah. And this is a one over on the right. That's a drying rack, isn't it? Yeah, that's a good point. So maybe they are building many different layers or iterations, or that's the word they love to use, of iterations. It's of different cooking mechanics. Oh, that's
Could
interesting.
also be different levels as well that you potentially unlock, like most survival games.
Yeah, different tiers of progression, eh?
Exactly.
Yeah. And this one was, there's a lot of stuff in this. This is very,
I like this.
yeah, this is interesting. It's the resolution isn't very good, even when I look at it on its original, but it's got this is, to me, looks like this is your habitat, your apartment, so to speak. What do you think? Do you think it's that or something else?
I really, really like this. It gives like a really neo cyberspace kind of vibe to it, and I really like that. It's cool.
It looked like I don't know, this bit here looked like even like possibly like a shower cubicle. I could be wrong, but this is yet again that same design concept of lots of stuff hanging out of walls and all that sort of stuff, eh?
Yeah, I absolutely adore it. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, it is cool, isn't it? And even they look even drawn.
Industrial.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
Industrial.
Yep. Yeah, sort of that functional industrial look, eh? Yeah, it's quite cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Well, this is in whatever order they posted them up. Fish. Well,
They are creepy looking.
yeah. Now, they said they'd put piranhas into the game. I don't know if they're these things, though. They could be. They look like piranhas, don't they?
Yep, they sure do.
Different types. I mean, they could have different types, but this one I thought it didn't look like a piranha. It looked more like, what are they, tadpole?
Yeah, or a cuttlefish.
Did you say cuttlefish?
Isn't that what they're called? Cuttlefish?
Cuddle or cuttle?
Ah, is it cuttle? I thought it was cuttlefish.
I don't know. Isn't a cuttlefish like a catfish? I don't know. That looks like a tadpole, though.
Oh, a cuttlefish is a kind of octopus-looking thing.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's right. God knows. That's a tadpole. So maybe they're having a tadpole in the game. Yeah, and they got a few here. I'll just quickly show you. They got some spacesuit ones here.
Oh.
Yeah, so we can look at these sort of in quick succession, but this one looks. I mean, I haven't checked it, but this one looks like the thing that they're playing in when they do these developer streams.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. And then they've got this. And then they've got that. Now, of these other two, like that one and that one, which do you reckon is best? What do you like?
No, that seems too clunky to me. It looks like it'd be too hard to move.
Mm-hmm.
Not very aerodynamic, but the second one, looks like it's taken parts from the first one and the second one and molded it into something more aerodynamic, ergonomical, functional.
Yeah.
Comfortable.
I agree that look doesn't. I thought the same thing. That doesn't fit. If you go back to what their space stations look like, it doesn't fit. That's too high tech. That's looks almost like that almost looks like if you play Ark, some tech suit, which they fly around in jetpacks and all sorts of carry on. Whereas this one, that if you got the sort of the fabric clothing, well, that fits with the fabric clothing look that they use in the game. And this here, see, like you got here and there, it's like an exoskeleton.
Yep, that's what I thought it was.
I like
extra
that.
Support. Yeah, it's really cool. And it does look like it has a lot of movability to it. And it is more natural than as well.
Yeah, and I always like anything where they have like tubes going into the back, because this head here and these tubes and the way it's set up, this almost looks like an insect. Don't you think?
Yeah, a little. Yeah.
When you compare it to that.
That just reminds me of a juggernaut.
Yeah, I'm not too keen on that. That doesn't fit. I hope maybe they will have this, and maybe not. But to me, that doesn't fit with the game itself.
Maybe if they did implement it, it's going to be for very hard hitting missions.
Yeah.
Like for things that have
some kind of paradise.
Well,
radiation. It looks like a radiation suit.
Yeah, because you got all this, like fabric, like a space suit, literally an actual space suit, of some sort. Whereas this one, that doesn't look like something you could wear in space. And I wasn't quite sure. See when my mouse is moving there, whether that is a connection to the bottom arm. On this, you can't. On this one, you see no connection from the top exoskeleton to whatever the hell they've got down here, because that doesn't make any sense. Because let's just say you're lifting something really heavy and you need exoskeleton support. It must go from shoulder, connect all the way through to your hands. There can be no disconnect, or else you're carrying all the weight on your muscles in your elbow joint. You know what I mean? Did it look right? There we go. See, I'm just so technical.
But the thing is, Matty.
Oh yeah, here we go. Okay. It's all on now. All right, go for it, Dee.
You pointed the line out. It is technically on his right arm. So if you flip the picture, it is on his right arm. So maybe it's only on that half of the body, and the other half of the body has something else. Because if you're looking at the artwork, the left shoulder pad is not exactly the same as the right shoulder pad.
Oh, okay.
Because on the left shoulder pad, there's actually something that looks like a hinge kind of thing.
Yeah.
So maybe that is working that side, and the two different things.
Right. So one side has the weight bearing capacity, the other side doesn't.
You never know.
You never do know. Okay. I think this is I can't make this. I can make it a little bit bigger. I think that's the same area again, isn't it?
Yeah, that's cool.
Drop ship down the bottom here. Drop ship room concept number 2.
Huh.
There we go. Okay. And this is that space station look, isn't it? That looks classic space station.
I really like this.
I think it's quite cool too. It makes things a lot more real.
Have you ever read a comic called Tank Girl?
Years ago.
The arts from Tank Girl reminds me very much of this concept art, like the room that was the cluttered room before that looked like there was a shower, and the other dropship picture. Yeah. I really like it.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? I really like it too. I much prefer that look to that clean, classic sci-fi. Moving on.
It's very humble.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, well, that's the same one, isn't it? But different colour concept.
Yep.
Obviously a little bit meaner. I don't know, which one do you prefer? That original sort of a bluey dark colour, or that one? What do you reckon?
I'm not sure, because this is what it could look like during the day.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, right.
It could be iridescent.
Yeah, that's true.
And now looking at it, it doesn't kind of look like a bug that's got smashed guts. It kind of looks like it's holding onto ribbons and bows. That's
and it's missing those lights as well down the tentacles. Yeah, I prefer the other one. I think the other one fits better with me, but they're obviously trying some different ideas here. Yeah, it's quite cool.
I like the pastel colours in this as well, the light pinks.
Yeah.
Those hues are really nice.
Yeah, they are good, aren't they? Oh, yep. This is obviously just some gear ideas, classic stuff, aren't they? I mean, this is bloody ridiculous. Look at that stuff.
What is that?
Well, you know what I thought? I thought about this when I was. I mean, these ones over here, classic, sort of almost like a ghillie sort of look, and then you got your furs and your leathers and all that sort of stuff. We won't go into all that. But these are obviously headdresses, some sort of a headdress. But I heard them talk about that there is the potential for guilds in this game. Yeah, and then that, when you think about guilds in the game, what that implies is well, this is the way I look at it. You're a prospector on the planet, and let's just say you work for, I don't know, let's call it, the Chinese Guild. I don't know if that's a Chinese hat, but we'll just call it that. And the Chinese Guild goes, we want you prospecting a particular thing. But to join that guild, you have to wear their uniform.
Yeah.
And so you get more money if you can find those exotic materials on your prospect and bring them back. So maybe that's one thing about signifying guilds. I could be totally wrong, but I just thought maybe it's an idea. What the hell is this thing?
I have no idea.
I mean, I initially thought that was a deer. Like, that's a deer's head, isn't it?
To me, it kind of looks like a sphinx cat.
I mean, look at those ears.
Yeah, maybe it's one of those floppers. What are they called?
A hare.
I call them floppers. The kind of cats.
You mean those cats with the really big ears? Do you mean?
Yeah.
What are they called? Minks? Lynx?
I
Cats?
think so.
Something like that,
so.
Yeah, it's weird.
All I know of them is big floppers because of the meme.
It's called floppers. I actually quite like that. I like the idea of you can wear. It's always important for games, isn't it, Dee, to have that characterization, the customization of your characters. People love that.
Yes, especially someone like me who base half your game on the way that you look.
Well, that's the feedback you need to give developers, isn't it? Because people forget that. They make it sometimes like a little side product, but for some people it's a core part of the game, isn't it?
Well, look at Final Fantasy XIV Online. Most of the missions that you can do, it's called climbering, which is customizing outfits and things like that. Then there's also Arc Survival, where you can paint your costumes and paint your hair and give yourself different haircuts.
Jesus,
And
we've
that's
been playing Sea of Thieves recently, haven't we? You and me.
Yes. And what am I like with the outfits there? I'm always off buying a new outfit.
You are, yeah. But, everyone's doing that. I'm always trying to customize my look, so it's really important to get that right, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, why don't we just move? Oh, these are the drop pods. Just some ideas there, obviously. They actually... Yeah, go.
Sorry.
That's right. You speak.
Kind of look like R2-D2 from Star Wars.
It's a bit harsh.
No, I like R2-D2. I love Star Wars.
Well, they look to me, I don't know, like, oh god, I was going to keep this chat really short, but I'm in the rhythm. So we're just going to keep going. These to me look like Apollo 11 landing craft.
Okay.
Well, you know what I mean. They're a little pod with some. Well, they're not spindly legs. They look pretty solid. They're pretty functional. There's nothing special about them, and I think that this thing here, being really interested in space technology, real life, that's probably some idea of a shield that when you drop through the atmosphere, which by the way is a very important thing to have. People forget that. Like when you're in a space station and it's orbiting a planet, whether it's the International Space Station, but this one in Icarus is exactly the same. People forget that it's orbiting at 20,000 kilometers an hour. That's the speed that it's going. I mean, they don't see it or feel it because there's no, the gravity is relevant to their ship, depending on what it's doing. But as soon as they leave that ship and as soon as they enter the atmosphere, they are traveling at 20,000 kilometers an hour, and that's what people forget. That's why you need these heat shields, because there's no way you can go from a space station into a planet unless it's got no atmosphere. You have to have a bloody heat shield.
You're not wrong. Also, the more I look at it, the more I realise this is a kind of a joke.
Really?
No, this what I'm about to say is it kind of looks like if R2-D2 and 3CPO had a baby.
It's so good. Oh, you're giving me material for weeks, Dee, here. Weeks. This one I like a lot. I like this.
I like that.
Yeah, this is obviously they're in there. I think it's the pod or something. That guy looks like he's at some sort of driving control panel. This dude here is pressing some buttons and they're looking down over the planet. It's pretty cool. I like that.
Yep.
That's nice, eh? And look at it, it's kind of like, it's a cross between high-tech and low-tech, because this I know it's not, but it almost looks like someone stuck a torch against the wall. It's probably a fixed fixture, but that's sort of what it looks like.
It does look like that. It looks like it could be held together with duct tape, but it's not at the same time.
Yeah, that's quite cool, isn't it? Now this was interesting because I know it not, and I'm not just talking about the picture of the fish or the sea creature. I'm talking about if you stick something like this in, like imagine that's probably quite big. You can't stick that in a small lake or something. That's got to be stuck in an ocean, doesn't it? Would you agree with me on that?
Yeah.
And
yeah,
so if you're designing something like that, that means somewhere in these maps, surely they're going to have some pretty big oceans. Or else you wouldn't ask for this stuff to be designed, would you?
Exactly. And going back to the spacesuits, maybe that big clunky looking thing is actually a scuba suit.
Good point. Good point. Yeah.
But that thing is terrifying. It looks like a poodle crossed with, I don't know, a leviathan or something like that.
Yeah, that is not a nice looking thing, is it? They've done a good job of that would scare the shit out of you if that came towards you. End of story.
Oceans are hard to do.
Yeah, well, they are. Yeah.
Like light shafting and things like that coming from the water. It's a lot of time.
Yeah, and technically, if you have a whole lot of life on land, then you're going to have more in the ocean, aren't you?
Exactly. You
I
got to.
mean, if you apply sort of basic logic about it, and most games would never do that. So yeah, you're right. It's a lot of work. Now this one was an interesting one. It
looks massive.
Yes, and there's a guy here, and this is hard to interpret. Now, I have seen there is another piece of art kicking around somewhere, which shows almost like a massive buffalo thing with these huge, antlers, and it's huge, but it's very vague and in the background, and I suspect that's what this is, but there's no clarity of what it is because this looks like it's frozen in ice. Or it's in or coming up out of ice. Is that what it looks like to you? What do you think?
Well, it looks like it is moving because of the way that the legs are positioned, as well as the body. So it does look like it's coming out of the water. Some of the concept art for Icarus actually really reminds me of Subnautica.
Right.
Do you know that game?
Yeah, I haven't played it, but I've seen enough about it. Yeah.
It's a very good game. It's a beautiful art as well. Just things like this, it just reminds me a lot of it, which isn't a bad thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah, and
I would hate one of those things to chase me.
Yeah, but it also, it gives you that when I see and I'm looking at this, whether the creature ends up looking like that or whatever is one thing, but yet again, it's the developers have said, we want you to come up with some really big creatures, scary as. We want to be putting some stinking great big creatures in the game. That's what I look at it like. And that's an interesting concept. Because if you have huge creatures, you've got to have open biomes. They can't be stuck in crevasses. They've got to be big areas.
Which is cool.
Well, I think so. Yeah. We have to wait and see about that. Oh, my favorite.
This is gorgeous.
It's my best one. I love this one. That to me is a piece of art that I don't know. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna send them an email and see if I can buy that. You probably won't be able to because it'll be licensed back to the company. But that is something I would love to have on my wall.
I wouldn't because praying mantis scare the living shit out of me.
Well, okay, but doesn't like a lot of, a lot of drawings and paintings, they often can be a little bit too abstract. They're obviously trying to portray some sort of a message. To me, this is an obvious message. It's very obvious, but I love the way it's done because we have this guy at the front here, just wandering along doing his patrolling, and we have this very bloody great big creature that's appeared out of nowhere and is about to gobble him up, and I just love that. It's a clear message. I love that about art sometimes.
unbeknownst to him, he's about to get eaten.
Yeah. And also it's a swampy biome, isn't it? Pardon me.
That's right. The depth of it is really, really nice as well. Like the gradient of it. And the fact that this is probably done on the computer, it actually looks like it's watercolor. And I love watercolor.
Yeah. It has an airiness to it, doesn't it?
It's very soft too. It's so soft and subtle.
Yep, that's exactly right. Oh, I love that one so much. Yeah, this is another bit you see in the one of the opening screens. This, what do you think that looks like?
A leviathan, a snake. I don't know. I'm gonna have to say this is actually my favorite one so far.
Really?
Yes, it looks like a sand serpent.
Yeah, it looks like a worm made like from dunes, a sort of idea.
But the thing is she can see that it's there, and the worm is obviously trying to eat the other birds. So she's like it just looks like she's just taking it in.
Yes, I thought the same. Like, where's the panic? There isn't any. It's just like quite a calm. Yeah, she's looking at this creature. She's got a bow and arrow ready, but she's not too stressed about it. It's not like she's turning to the audience and running away, screaming in terror.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. And this is
That's really pretty. Those
like
colours are gorgeous.
I quite like this one. I quite like this one for the ludicrous nature of it. Meaning,
Giant slug.
It's a bloody giant slug, isn't it? But is it a friendly giant slug? Will it just ignore you as it walks past? Is it a passive sort of creature?
It looks very bright and free-flowing, fragmented. It's cool. It's very cool.
It is, isn't it? I really like that one.
The word of the day today, Matty, is cool.
It's so cool. That is so cool. Now this one, I think, is... I'll zoom up a bit for you. Is obviously they're in their pods, but I reckon, putting my gamer hat on here, D, is that this is your little apartment or pad. This is your workbench, where, when you do your upgrades and stuff, I bet you have to come here and do them.
That's what it looks like. It's very cluttered.
It's got that typical workbench space in games, doesn't it?
Maybe one is a tinker bench and maybe the other one is a sewing bench because the other one looks like it's covered with things.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I didn't notice that. Yeah, that's like a mechanical electronics, and this one's got
a sewing machine right there.
That looks like a sewing machine, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, good spotting. That's interesting.
Huh.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Neat.
That's cool. And this is some nice... I think we've got a couple of swampy ones coming up here.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, I really like that. That is so nice. It's so nice. The light on him.
Yep.
And, just on the vegetation around him, the light coming down from this angle up here, lighting him up is just perfect. That's really cool.
The light particles are really good.
Yeah, that's really nice. That's a beautiful bit of art there. And this one, I love this one.
I like this. This is cool.
And when I looked at this one, I thought to myself, and this is the challenge, isn't it, for concept art and a game. Can you imagine if they could recreate in the game what this is portraying? It would be a game break. It would be so fantastic.
Yep.
That mist, and when I mean that, I'm looking at this creature coming out of this swamp, out of the mist towards you, and I just look at that and go, that's how you make a game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, could they do it? Who the hell knows? But it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Oh yeah, I did notice that, Red, but I didn't really. But you're right. It looks like burning embers or something in there, eh?
Yeah.
That's cool. And I think there is a couple of pictures of. That's an Arctic one.
That's cool.
Yeah, but I think there is a couple of pictures of some sort of lava lands. Yeah, that's quite cool. They've said there's polar bears in it. I think that they've got that one on some of their other game or website. This one is bit more of the hab. I think that's what they call it, the hab, the space station. Can't think anything there I particularly want to talk about. It's all...
I just like how they've used sketches in it and placed it in the center of the frame, you know, around the edges. Like everything else is
Oh, I see.
computerized, but then there's
Yeah.
little swatches of sketches and stuff like that. I think that's cool.
Yeah, that's quite cool, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, now this one, what do you think about this one? You tell me your thoughts. Speak freely.
Well,
Don't hold back.
I think it's interesting to say the least, but underneath that mountain, I think there's a big scary thing underneath it.
Mm.
That's what it gives me. Like if you see any sort of weird rock formation in a game, like let's for instance take Valheim for a
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
The first thing that we saw before we hit the plains was that monstrosity of rock formations.
Yes, and it drew our attention. Yep.
Yes. I think this is what that point is for, to draw your attention in.
Yeah, you could be. You could be right. I also think it was like a photograph in the background, and they've photoshopped over the front end of this.
Haha, that's cool. Yeah, I just noticed that. That's neat.
Yeah, that's why you get this very hyper-realistic... I might be wrong, but that's what it looks like. They've taken a photograph of... I don't think that's New Zealand. I think that's probably in Nepal. I don't know if that's K2, but Dean Hall, being a real avid climber, would love shit like that. So I might be totally wrong there, but...
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite cool, isn't it? And this is obviously a pretty harsh environment. It
Yeah,
looks harsh, doesn't it?
it does.
Yeah, so they got proper full spacesuits on. And these are obviously some sort of a workbench ideas.
Tanneries and things like that.
Yeah, and the comment here is too outdoory.
I
And,
can see that.
Yeah, I actually agree. Honestly, I don't really like these very much.
Well, if they're going for an indoor escape, then no, it does not fit the mark.
Yeah, I'm I'm particularly not a fan of that.
Really?
No.
That's probably my favorite one.
Well, you see, I the one they say remove ? This middle one, I like that one.
To me, that's too messy. I like the short, fat one because it seems more minimalistic.
Right.
And if it is going in your like a little heart, you'd want it to be minimalistic.
Yeah, well, this would never go in a hut, would it? This would have to be literally outdoory.
But if they're trying to push for something that's more indoorsy, then that would be the one that I would go for.
Right. Yeah, I suppose. I think, did they have another? Yeah, here we go. That's right. I thought there was another one. So
Yeah, see,
these
it
must
looks like
these must be
cleaner.
some. Yeah, so that's that similar one, isn't it?
I like that. Because it
Yeah.
literally looks like a bench that you could find in a rustic house.
Yeah, that's true. Pardon me, that's true. And these are definitely got more stuff on them, don't they? They've been raised up with legs and stuff. Yeah, whatever. They're just workbenches. Now,
Hey, they're an important key of games.
oh, you stop dismissing them, Matt. Come on. Now, this one, a backpack bike rock hopper. Now, I didn't first pick up on this. I just went and read it, backpack bike. Well, what do they mean by that? But then I went, oh, hang on. He's wearing it as a backpack. Literally. And so, yeah, I know, you don't pick up on that to start with. But it's a backpack, which he obviously carts around and then unfolds to be this and drives it around. Which I thought is a pretty cool idea. I don't know why you'd do that, but there
What
it
if you
is.
need to climb up a really steep mountain?
Pure and simple.
Yeah, well, I guess there's that.
Go through a ravine.
Yeah, I suppose there are reasons. It just doesn't seem very, it's, well, okay. Who am I to talk about these things? But it doesn't seem super functional, but I'm sure it will have its place. But I like the idea of it, a backpack mode and deployed mode. That's quite cool. Obviously,
I would actually want one of these in real life.
you would want one in real life.
Yeah, why not?
I could
Go for a walk, you're too tired to come home. Yeah.
just put
pull
your
out
bike
my-
down.
Backpack bike. What are you looking at me for?
Why are the cops stopping me? I don't understand it. Where's my license plate? And they would reference photos over here, all that sort of stuff. I've been looking at, I think this bottom one, really hard to see, but that's some big, what do they call, dune buggy type thing, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good idea, isn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely a good idea.
I think it would be fun.
And I think that's just a gun of some sort, some obviously advanced pistol with, I think that's a holographic sight, I think. So it's not pointing at the old laser. And, that's pretty cool. It's high tech. Is that a silencer, eh?
Silencer. Yeah. It's not a muzzle breaker.
No.
Open. Yeah, that's neat.
It's pretty cool. And there's another little swampy one.
That's beautiful.
Actually, this has got that. Look, it's got a similar sort of readiness in the foliage. I mean, it's not burning embers, but
maybe it's plants.
Yeah, maybe it was. Another swampy. To me, this felt like another. Perhaps they've taken a photo and done something with it. I might be totally wrong there, but it's got that quality to it. But obviously a marshy, not so much, well, I guess it is swamp, isn't it? It's a marshy swampland.
Yeah.
This looks like that stuff from, Lord of the Rings when Frodo and Bill... What?
I know exactly what you're talking about, but the souls in the water.
Yeah.
That scared the living shit out of me when I was a kid.
Really?
Yep.
But it looks like this, doesn't it? That sort of swampy land.
Yeah.
That's what it's got that look about for me anyway. But it's looking good. Spacesuit designs again. I don't really like these, but... And I certainly, first thing I saw when I looked at this was, why the hell would you have that on your head?
I would not have a clue. I was like, oh, maybe it's a hood to keep your head warm, but you've got a freaking helmet on.
Yeah. That's right. I was just trying ideas. But it's quite cool, isn't it? What the hell's that about? All the rest of these are all pretty the same. Obviously, some high-tech stuff there. I can't see anything really I want to talk about in regards to that. Crossbow, high-tech one. Obviously got a laser sight.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Meta crossbow. There you have it.
That means it's going to be OP as fudge.
Yeah, going to smash some puppies with that.
I love crossbows.
Yeah, they're good. And this is...
That is disgusting.
An auto... What's disgusting about it? What don't you like about it?
It's an auto shotgun. It looks disgusting.
Just you don't like it?
No, I don't like the barrel drum that they have on it.
Yeah.
I think it's too OP looking.
It's going to hold a lot of
Not
cartridges.
really, if you think about it.
Well, maybe 20 or 30. Yeah, this is the ones I was talking about.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, now this just honestly, having played so much Ark, this just reminds me of some of the volcano biomes. Yeah, the lava flowing down, and obviously this will be a pretty dangerous biome. At the back there, that when I first looked at it, I thought, is that some creature?
That's what I thought. I thought it was like a dragon head or something like that.
But I don't think it is.
But it doesn't fit in with the rest of the picture.
No, it doesn't, does it?
No.
Yeah, it's an interesting little one, that. But I like that. But obviously there's going to be some volcano or volcanic areas, and this is a similar one again.
This looks like hyperrealism.
Yeah, and you got at the front here these ponds, these mineral ponds. I like that sort of thing. I like this bit. I hate this, the volcano. The lava areas of games, they're just dreadful, aren't they?
Kind of reminds me of Star Wars when...
I know what you're going to say. Keep going, though.
Anakin gets Padma to come see him at the that facility.
And Obi-Wan and Anakin have the big fight, don't they?
And I loved you. Yep.
and then that famous line, what is it? Obi-Wan says to Anakin, I've got the high ground. And then Anakin tries to leave, so he gets his legs chopped off and he ends up burning in the lava. Yeah. This is a scary, scary thing. I would not like to come across this thing.
Now, this thing here,
yeah.
Have you ever played Abe's Odyssey before?
No.
Are you serious?
What is the game? Say it again.
Abe's Odyssey.
Abe's Odyssey.
It's a 90s game. It originally came out on the PlayStation 1.
Okay, never played it.
Okay.
I didn't think I've ever even heard of it.
Really?
Well, what's this creature got to do with it?
Well, in Abe's Odyssey, obviously, it's you have to.
It's an Odyssey
Yes and no.
with Abe.
There's these creatures on there, right? And they're called a paramite. But with the paramite things, it actually has like hands at the face. But that's what it would look like if it didn't have the hands like around its mouth.
Okay, Abe's Odyssey paramites.
Yeah.
I had never heard of that. But do you know what this sort of reminded me of? One of the Aliens movies. I think it was the most recent one. I can't remember what it was called. Or whatever. And they go to the alien world, and the alien takes on almost like a human form, and it has a face, but it doesn't have a face. It's sort of like this white. It's almost like a white skull. This part here, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And now when I edit this later, I'll put the picture in of what I think it looks like. I'll chuck it over, but I find it utterly horrifying. I don't know why.
Alien Covenant.
Yeah, and he eats the lady, and she ends up a headless corpse in like some little spring, and then they pull back the curtains, and this alien's standing there, and the android is going, "Oh, you beautiful little thing," and then the other dude shoots it. It's just the most horrific face. I absolutely hate it. I hate even looking at it. Anyway, obviously a couple of Arctic suits here.
Oh, poor polar bear.
Yeah, he's got a polar bear, got chopped up and got his head stuck on.
Oh, that actually makes me think, I wonder if they're going to put Arctic foxes in.
No wonder they call it Icarus.
I really
know.
hope they do, because they're my favourite animal.
Came crashing down.
Yeah, but then people will kill them.
That's alright, I'll kill them to keep them as trophies if I can't tame them.
Man, you are messed up.
Hey.
And what else we got? Oh, yeah, that was one. That was my one I stuck up as a meme. That's right. I don't know why I did that.
I'm going to say this. When you said that's the Chinese hat, Matty, I was going to say, what are you going to do? Work in the rice fields next? That was such a stereotypical thing of you to say.
I know, it was bad. But what about, but did you see this bit here? Have you looked at that?
Yeah, it's a cat with a cowboy hat.
I know.
It's brilliant.
I don't know. It was just something I thought, look, here we are slaughtering animals and sticking heads on things. I thought, well, you might have your own little pets. Maybe that's what you do with them. You chop them up and stick them around like trophies. Maybe.
What if they're not actually hairdressers for us? They're actually hairdressers for our pets.
That's so true. That is so true.
Because that,
oh, Jesus, getting way too zoomed in there.
Because the one with the woven hat, it kind of looks like it's on an owl.
This one here?
Yeah.
On an
Looks
owl?
Yeah, it looks like an owl face. Looks like it's an owl.
Oh, really?
Yeah, little. With its little beady eyes.
Yeah. Now, this, strangely enough, they've been talking, we'll finish up in a second, but we've been talking a lot about, there's been a bit of conversation going around about why the hell do you need a spacesuit, which the guys are wearing in all these videos, with a full helmet and everything, when you're on a biome that doesn't need one. All you need in that biome to start with, that, what's it called, I don't know, let's call it the forest biome, is you just need this. And obviously this is a low tech, but you need a rebreather. You're just providing oxygen, because there's no environmental factors you need protection from. You could just wear warm clothes. You don't need the full suit. Certainly don't need a helmet. There's no radiation. You're not in a vacuum or anything like that. There's no poison gases.
What if you can't breathe?
Yeah, but you have a rebreather. You have some sort of a breathing mask. Like a scuba type thing. Okay. You don't need a whole spacesuit, so to speak. So I think this is here they got that full mask, but this is clearly guys not in a spacesuit. They're just in normal clothes, but with a rebreather helmet of some type. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, I picked that up. Someone said, why are they got helmets? And I was like, good point. Why are they wearing helmets? And then the second part to that was raised was, And even Dean Hall said, yeah, when we're eating, we're just mashing the foods against our helmet visors. Because how the hell you eat your food when you've got a space helmet on? I thought, yeah, that's a good point. But
How would you eat if you need a rebreather?
well, I don't know. These are the interesting things they actually are going to have to solve, because if they don't solve those things, people go, this is really dumb. When you're trying to achieve realism in a game, which they are to a degree, you have to do it one way or the other. You either make it artificially stupid or you make it realistic. There's no in between.
Well, then
So-
there's Ark, where there's some factors seem kind of realistic.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that you can run like at 400 speed.
Yeah, but Ark isn't trying to be realistic.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas a game like this is saying, we are realistically putting you on this planet. And you go, okay, fair enough. That's cool. I get it. Love it. And you realistically can do this, that, and the other thing. And if you go down that, you can't make some things unrealistic.
Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't fit.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Dee? What do you think of it all? Do you like where the concepts are going? I'm keeping in mind that some of that stuff is quite old and it's probably well out of date, and they're just showing them to us, probably just to keep the conversation going. What do you think of all that?
I think some of the concepts are very interesting, and nonetheless, as I've said plenty of times, it is very cool. I am very interested in seeing how this game pans out just by seeing the concept art.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a fascinating game to see how it does pan out. And they certainly are taking, I would consider it quite a risk. You know, that it's a risky endeavor they are going on, and it could well pay off or it could not. This idea of a session-based game, but I do like the idea of this. The session-based means you can split the biomes up, you can split things up nicely, so you can flesh areas out really detailed, as opposed to having them all blend together. I think that could be a strong part of the game, and that concept art sort of pointing towards that a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Dee. Well, thank you for joining the panel of experts today, which is just me and you.
You're welcome.
Welcome. And I will catch up soon.
Thank you, Matty.
Thank you, Dee. Your time is always appreciated.
Likewise.